This morning I was riding the bike to go play at the park a pickleball, but it was early, so I was cruising around. And I start to go into a different space, so to speak. It's about the magic of riding a bike first. It requires delicate process, balancing, using the muscle, checking where things are, and you can cruise. When there is not much of a hurdle, it's very smooth, but if there are things that you have to be careful, you have to go through that. In doing that, I guess my mind was empty. I start to drift off the idea of me, who I am, riding the bike, and then surroundings. There's a huge surroundings I felt, as much as all the delicate things happening in my whole body and mind. The mind is empty, so just aware of what's going on. Then I thought I'm a limited being, except I have this connection to the infinite. I'm limited, but infinite. I can see the boundary, or maybe there's no boundary. So it's the emptiness, there's no substance of who I am, which may sound weird, but if your mind is empty, you can space out like that. I also thought about me and my body, and me and organization, the society, and the human and the earth into the galaxy. Internally, I use the word mini-me. I have element of me. Heart, lung, kidney, all those elements, as well as mind and body. In whatever the configuration, they work together to make me to live. So internally, there's amazing things happening beyond my imagination. But I also can remember my work introducing the idea of the mini company, that each organization have a mini company, or mini company, and they all relate to each other by customer-supplier relationship, or the bankers and the employee relationship. But the organization can expand not just the company, but to the nation, the society as a human, on the earth, and out into the galaxy and beyond. I wrote the book and published Results from the Heart, and in there I inserted the idea of Avatamsaka Sutra, which is the Kegon in Japanese. And it talks about the interrelationship or interpenetration of how one connects to the other. So when you move one, the rest is connected in some way or the other and relate to each other, as much as within my body, the relationship of my heart and lung and kidney and liver and all that, of the hormone and blood pressure, the nervous system, there's all relation. As much as it is so within me part of the organization, the society, the human, and on the earth, with all the living beings, there's a relationship. So Avatamsaka Sutra was the idea related to the mini company I mentioned, but also connected to how the Buddha's view of the universe. So when I introduced those ideas into the book, there's a relationship, I said, the connection between brain and heart. And with that holon structure of mini-company, mini-company, interrelationship, interpenetration. I thought the one person who can understand what I'm writing, I wrote in that book, would be the Dalai Lama. So eventually I got the forward for him because the idea is analogous to the idea of Buddha nature, that every being has it within themselves like an engine to drive and relate to each other, and the whole universe can be seen connected to each other, not just the living beings, but because the living being is also connected to the non-living beings. So expanding all of that as a relationship so that infinite me or the limited me can be connected to the infinite space and the being of everything. So that's the space I was in. And then I thought about the I of Eckhart. And I like that thought. Let me see if I can find the quote. This is Meister Eckhart talking about the relationship with God. In my term, that God is infinite potential to wisdom, way represented in nature. So I use the word the laws of nature or laws of the universe that's manifesting everywhere to create all these miracles of me riding the bike, talking, communicating, processing food, all of that happening. Anyway, one quote here, it says, "The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me." And that statement, I may have mentioned when I talked about Krishnamurti's observer and observed. So here is the relationship of observer and observed. Me to the God, or you can point me to mini-me, or any connection with others, there's that something is observing and being observed. But the basic point of Eckhart, of course, is to see who you are and how you relate to God. I thought that sentence is profound. It took some time to figure out what it means. But if I may say in few words, it's just awareness of being. And if you're empty, mind is empty and aware, you have that sense of what's happening, the sense of aliveness of who you are. It's like someone's watching you, which is God, and you want to have a good relationship. And if you don't have the relationship, you see yourself confined in the mind. So it's about the transparency, clarity, resonance, connection with God, or the law of nature. And I thought this bike ride around the park was quite interesting to bring me into such a space. I think it happens fairly often. I notice and I let go. And whenever I connect to that sense, I have this Waku Waku sensation. I mentioned the word Waku Waku as the mountain spring pouring out the beautiful water coming out. It's a magical story. It's a magical experience. And if you have that connection of being limited to the unlimited, I think we may appreciate more about our existence and the meaning of it. It may sound like a dreamy story, but it could be something that we can experience and have fun in living life, appreciating what we can, who we are. Thank you.